Democracy, Ejisu constituency in the Ashanti region. And Helen, we do know that there are about 9 people contesting for the role of member of parliament, or 6, you say?
6, indeed. 6 candidates. That's right.
6 people who are there. Another former member of parliament for the area is also contesting. A former cabinet minister, I should say, who took over from President Akufo-Addo as Minister for Foreign Affairs. Who are these individuals who are contesting for the representative slot for the people of Ejisu constituency?
All right, so these 6 candidates are as follows. You've got Esther Osei of the CPP, Kwabena Boateng of the NPP. You've got Beatrice Boache, LPG, Kwabena Idiomi, independent candidate. You've got Fred A. Joseph, independent candidate. Atakra Joseph, a lot of Josephs in here, independent candidate. These are the 6 individuals who are at this point in time, I'm sure their stomachs are turning and churning as they wait for what the people will decide today.
And by this time, the elections would have begun. We will cross over into the Ejisu constituency. Our men are standing by Ibrahim Abubakar with Ibrahim, with William Evans Inkum, and the rest of the team. They're all standing by to, also tell us what exactly is happening in Ejisu constituency, and as they get ready to find a replacement for the late member of parliament, John Amponcha Kuma, who died suddenly. Now, Ejisu, for those of you who don't know, is in the city in the greater Kumasi, located along the Kumasi Accra Highway, about 20 kilometers from Kumasi. Is the capital of Ejisu municipality, a municipal of the Ashanti region. The Electoral Commission has given assurance that it is ready for the by-election. We also do know that shades are being thrown at Mr. Idiomi because the president, Akufo-Addo, insists that Kwabena Idiomi is not too sure if it's the Afrafranto led by Alan Kojo Tremantin or the NDC that is contracting him to come and mess up things for the MPP, as it were. So, well, we will wait for early days yet, but William Evans Inkum is our Northern Bureau Chief. He joins us on the phone line now from on the ground where all the action is happening. Bill, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Johnny.
Are you able to confirm for us if voting has begun in Ejisu?
Well, absolutely. About an hour ago, voting began across all 204 polling stations in the Ejisu constituency. So we are talking about 28 electoral areas, over 100,000 voters, and 204 polling stations. Currently, I've visited about 2 of them. Within the stronghold of the independent candidate, Kwabena Idiomi, and here I'm talking about his hometown, that is Ejisu Bisiase. I've been to 2 polling stations, one St. George's International School, that is a polling station there. You're talking about 696 voters. As at the time I was living there, a little over 12 have voted. Majority were men. So it was 11 against 1. 11 men, 1 woman. That was the situation there. Currently, I am at the Sakura Park, and this is the polling station of the independent candidate. Pretty soon, I'm told he will be coming here to vote. Here we have 735 voters or voter population. And as I'm talking to you now, a little over 50 have voted so far. But Johnny, I can tell you that there is huge concentration of political and then security, or if you like, security and political concentration here. Because it is a polling station. I've seen a number of constituency chairmen who have been detailed here to monitor the exercise. I'm talking about constituency chairman of the ruling New Patriotic Party who have been detailed here to monitor the exercise.
Right.
Aside that, you also have huge security presence here and other observers who are all here, because I'm told pretty soon, like I said earlier, you should be coming here to vote.
Now, I know that ahead of this day, the Ejiomi team, they held a press conference and listed 6 things that they thought were going to happen, which will put impediments in their way towards electoral victory. 1, they talk about use of security and intimidation. 2, they talk about monetary inducements. 3, they talk about arrests. 4, they talk about ballot box stashing. They talk about power outages. And then they also talk about trying to cause confusion. What is their mood at this time, now that everything seems to be running smoothly as the Electoral Commission had promised?
Well, so the only thing they've been alleging is money. That is one thing that they've been alleging. Not too long ago, one of the guys came to me and then accosted me to an alleged house that he thinks that there's some money sharing ongoing there. Honestly, I went there, I saw a lot of people there, but I could not get any evidence of sharing. That is one thing that I've been able to establish. Beyond that, if you're talking about security, I must say that, yes, the police are here in their numbers. Indeed, prior to this particular exercise, we're told that some 10,000 police officers will be deployed here. Each polling station, I've seen a number of them, not armed, and each polling station also has a commander who is also steering the affairs as far as managing security in this particular election is concerned. Aside that, I've also seen a number of heavily built men who's also been moving around. But anytime, wherever I have seen them, they are a bit far from the polling station. And I just want to believe that the police is not giving them that kind of, leverage or leeway for them to operate. But they are a bit far. But the fact of the matter is that they are around. So I think the issue of vigilantism still, comes to play here.
I see, Bill.
And why people use them in the election.
Bill, the Asin situation presents us with some 800 police officers, with the IGP himself going there, being the big boy in charge of the operation with other COPs. We're hearing 10,000, as you have confirmed, for Ejisu constituency, but we also see some police bigwigs there, and 800 versus 10,000. That's quite a number, is it not?
Absolutely, quite a number, because of the political magnitude. If you are comparing the two elections, Ejiomi factor, of course. Somebody who are just splintered from the ruling New Patriotic Party and looking at the momentum that is gathering as far as the various electoral areas is concerned, and some of the things that his people have also been saying. And these are, it's like a palace war. Ejiomi's people are all MPP guys, or if you like, most of them are all MPP guys, and then he's also getting support from the other political parties, especially the main opposition party, who have openly come out to endorse his candidature and have asked members of the political party to vote for. So Ejiomi is going into this election with a full political back, not only from his own party, but from other political parties and, of course, other non-aligned political parties, or if you like, independent parties. So the interest here is very huge, and I just want to believe that is why there's higher concentration as far as security detail here is concerned. But to talk about the big bosses, I'm talking about the police.
Right.
The IGP is not in town, but I understand the Director of Operation is the one leading this particular exercise together with the Director General of the CID.
Bill, I thank you very much indeed for your time. We'll come back to you for some more updates when the need arises. We're grateful.
Thank you.
Great. That's William Evans Inkum. He's our Northern Bureau Chief, joining us here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. It's 28 minutes after 8 here. When we return from this bite from the president, we'll engage my colleagues Duke Opoku Mensah. He is a parliamentary correspondent, but he also has a very firm grip on the Ejisu situation, and Beatrice Edu, who is host of News Today on 3FM, will join Helen and I to dissect the issues as we travel along.
Say never done it here, my MPP. All right. so person dan na chi a okoso dan na ti ma MPP na ne me fi na mu eba no na me nwanwa 2008 Obano na Ejisu ha you know MP Emma Ejisu cabinet minister yeah deputy minister cabinet minister minister of foreign affairs Mijemu 2007 semekwa kopre the franka tuni abano ena yemu akufo epejano ebese manemu cabinet minister ono no baya ono no besi kan eno tu no ebeye candidate ena afensu so obeye MP eno de say eno de na papa yes sir eno de na niche ho so abawa betu cabinet minister awa babeye MP eno de boni bi anim na wo du so no bi aba betu a udi friends deputy minister eno ayo ya ema na wo nam na okika nsam saade ye no Look America no that's all say ye na PPP for ba be wi abanum about to man MPP no ye wi abano ma no na sa na mo pese kire ye se wi abano ma no ana na we e be de ye ba be wi abano ma no o jaja nsam so da na chi no ye minim de o ye sa frafranto se chinyo ana ni mi enu nyina na abom e na o ya o ko so ye ne sa no ma fa ya nsam ma ba kika nsam ai fata entre so no and I'm so no dey ekwai eba Ejisu efi bua ye yi no fru abawa mu no adan ekwan no waye a o dey abekire Ejisu for say ono e na ye ekwan you want to be regional chairman yes me kan fa me ho na sa na tie akwa bia wo Ghana me e na me ma ho to me e na ye sa
Ejisu boy
Mbako if we are Ekosi 7th January 2025 MPP Abai and the Waso MPP Abai na Waso a Kufuado a Deni the more Pobi and the president MPP president Akasa na to asumpemwa ye MPP ni eno beba no ba be kasa atse ye independent bia ye hu teacher nsensama shedachi so payufo bi shedachi ena ye wani no so ba no me say yes embaso na embaso tra embaso me ba hase me ba be sra momoa me na me dwuma aka me ba be na ntumi ko ni yie I don't have a majority in parliament mo amon sema mo ni di wo parliament say mo amon and they say otina say enam say numbers no say ayepa. You hear majority, even if it is by one. We need a majority in the House of Parliament to be able to complete our mandate. That's our one vote, you know. Onwemi. Yeru akwabwate. Onwemi. Ono eno betumi aba no aba beboa me amadwuma aka se me ba be ye no betumi aye amana ba na wiye ebe na aka no sa nanso still adwuma wɔ hɔ na obiara odi MP wɔ Ejisu ha no sɛ ɔsɛ gye o sɛ yɛ ɔno oduro mi o sɛ yɛ jɔnkuma no minister no wɔne di na bi nimi sɛ ɛbrɛ no ɛbɛma me kwan ma yɛ bɛma bɛdi minister ne yɛbɛyɛ Ejisu no mo da me kɔma so papaapa Mr. Momon yet met to me a banner, Mrs. But me to me a banner about a year, a bear, as some papa, am I in it's your brother. Some of the outfit, the agro.
I'm on find the agro cry. Ghana, as the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, campaigning heavily at Ejisu in the Ashanti region. We're looking for a replacement for the late John Kuma, former Deputy Minister for Finance, former MP for the area. And my colleagues have joined me in studio, Duke Mensah Opoku and Beatrice Ados joined Helen and I in the studio. Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Morning.
Duke, let's start this conversation. The NPP seems to be using a grenade to give warning shot at a fist fight.
It's politics. You underestimate your opponent at your own peril, right? And you make your premise is quite firm and solid, because if you look at the seat that in the NPP won with a margin of over 52,000, John Kuma got 60. The late John Kuma, may you so rest in peace, garnered 68,000 votes in the 2020 election, and the NDC candidate Joseph Zenu managed just around 14,000. So that's a 52,000 vote, 54,000 gap between the two candidates. So if you are going to such an election, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it should be a walk in the park, if you like. But for two reasons, this has become a very, very interesting by-election. First, is the fact that all by-elections are political status symbols for governments. Now, what I mean by their political status symbols for government is that by-elections provide, I mean, we are not in a democracy which allows for midterm elections, where governments can test their popularity, government can test the pulse of the policies they are rolling out, government can test their favorability amongst the populace. So when there is a by-election, it is an opportunity for the government to be able to feel what the people think about their governance at that level. So that's how come, I mean, since time immemorial, from Woolensey to Talensi to Asin North, to Atiwa, all by-elections have been very, very, very cagey.
Right.
Irrespective of whether it's a safe seat or once it's a by-election, it's cagey. And it's for this reason. Governments consider by-elections as political status symbols. Number two, what has changed the dynamic in this election is the gentleman who was what the elders in my village will say has become the triapia. You know the triapia?
Chewing stick.
Chewing stick.
The main guy,
Adiomi. It's Adiomi who has become the chewing stick for the NPP. All the sound bites we heard.
President, Vice President, Afenyo Marking, everybody.
Everybody. He was the target, And rightly so, because...
But that's because he originally is MPP.
Yes.
Okay.
Even though right now that is even being questioned.
Well, but how do you question? How do you question? Somebody like Ejisu? For me, it's suspicious that this is a man who has been part of the party. He is not a newbie, right? He's just unhappy about. It's just like somebody saying Alan Tremantin, because he moved away from MPP to form Movement for Change, he's suddenly doing business with the NDC. Alan Tremantin is a diehard MPP. Whether you turn him upside down, whatever you do to him, he was not just happy about some processes.
And so he's left.
Finished. Same with Ejisu.
But I mean, this is someone coming from someone who he beat in that 2008 primary. You would expect that sometimes there's a possibility that there are pent up, feelings. Because I remember that election very well. Because Ejisu at the time was the Foreign Affairs Minister. He's the one who took over from Akufo-Addo.
That's right.
A very respected gentleman.
Cabinet Minister
for that matter. And at a point in time, he was even considering running for the chairmanship of the party. So that's how these things work. And so for these two reasons, as Ejisu has become very, very interesting. Other than that, Ejisu on any day, the MPP can close its eyes and go home and think that.
And that's why I said they're taking a grenade to a fist fight.
Absolutely, but
to give a warning shot.
But these are the factors that have actually made it quite difficult. Because Eduomi was a 3-term MP. You don't just become a 3-term MP by folding your arms. He can point to projects that that took place under his watch. He was a deputy minister for roads. You know how important that roads ministry function is.
A former deputy chief executive also of the Roads and Highways
Authority. And at a point, he was the regional director of Highway Authority in Ashanti region for a very long time. A position he occupied for I think 6 to 7 years. So he is at peace, or he's at pace with that constituency.
But the president shut down that track record when he says that, look, since he moved out of government, what road can he point to that he has?
But what about
the president took a shade at him?
What about when he was in government? So the gentleman his motto is Ejumapantu Aso, to wait the continuation of good works.
Well, but the president says that if you are not my preferred candidate and the people decide to bring you, forget about development, because you will talk, but I won't hear.
But respectfully, MPs necessarily do not have to rely on the president for development. And I'll tell you why. There are members of parliament who are in opposition. Okay? But the kind of projects that they have been able to undertake in their constituencies far above what some sitting members of parliament have been able to do. Can the president, in his powers, respectfully, order that common fund should not be paid to NDC MPs?
You have not seen people depart from what is in the textbooks, where a DC, because if you're an MP, you need the buy-in of the DC to be able to get a release of your funds to you and the local assembly. Where a DC who decides that you are with us, you have left, we will show you something small.
Well, that's another thing. But
it's a reality that's happening in many different places.
The point I'm making is it's not even only the common fund that MPs get for there's a portion of the get fund that goes to them, a portion of the NHI funds that goes to them for monitoring and other things. And MPs, per their position, can lobby and have international partners, bring development to I wouldn't like to use this as some example, but I will use it. Northtown.
I was just about to say
Northtown.
That's a good example of being able to lobby.
Northtown. There are 2 factories there.
Right.
2 factories, one juice and then one other. There's a hospital with equipment, fully stocked by the Rotary International in the USA, all because of partnerships that the member of parliament has built. There are so many other personal initiatives that you go to a Futu, you will see that even though he's the majority leader, there are other things that personally, from his own partnerships from Ghana and abroad, he's doing for the constituency. So if there is no straight path towards development or towards an expected end, sometimes it's zigzag. But point is, are you able to deliver within the constraints of what you have to do?
Look at this.
But Johnny, we must say this. I think that respectfully, I mean, the president, I have a lot of respect for him. A lot of respect for him. But you see, these are conversations that politically people do have it. And people always say it. I mean, strongholds and the rest. But to give that gravitas to it on a political platform, to say, I mean, the other day we said it was a joke when he said it during the dam spillage.
Right.
And said, you guys, you don't even vote for me. If that was the basis of it, I wouldn't even have.
But that was not the first.
Yes.
Because he had said one before to the chiefs of Ekomfi.
Right.
He said it at Mepe. He went to Asin North to repeat it. He went to Fomena before that. Before he even went to Ekomfi and Mepe, he was in Fomena. He said the same thing. Now he is in Ejisu and he's repeating same 5 or 6 instances.
So even though you may be making certain points to get your point across politically and try and get the seat, I think Fomena should have taught the MPP a lesson that there is a way you politic. What if today Eduomi wins the election? this is a party that is...
The president will have to lick back his spit.
So that's what I'm saying. That Fomina should have taught the NPP a lesson. That if you are dealing with a former member of parliament from your stables, who out of procedural misunderstanding decided that he's going independent, fight the battle fair and square, but to go this low and make all these sort of comments about him, I mean, it's politics. All is fair in love and war, they say. But what if the unexpected outcome for you happens? Ediomi wins. This is a government that has 20 ministers and deputies that have not been approved.
Okay.
Mid-year budget review is going to come in the next. You have $300 million of money that you are waiting to sign off from the World Bank for the Garrett project, so that Greater Accra will not be flooded when there are rains. It's hanging. There are so many other projects. Affirmative action bill.
Right.
Maybe that one, because it brings a certain level of consensus and other things, it's hanging. There are so many bills, so much government business, loans, vote on account.
You think the president didn't pay attention to all of these?
So I'm just saying that it's not business as usual, and that's one thing that the government has not gotten. I mean, has not averted its mind to right from the beginning of this parliament. Sometimes I feel they still live in the days of the 7th parliament, where they had over
169
to 106. They still live in that.
I think that the president still thinks sometimes, forgive me, but sometimes they still think that he's an opposition leader, because he sounds very much like, I mean, look at, so this was what I was making reference to, and Beatrice, I'll come to you in a bit. Tuesday, 23rd of April 2024, this is a Ghana Web story. Public Accounts Committee orders WA East DCE to honor MP's request for common fund. The Public Accounts Committee of Parliament has directed S.K. Mahama, the District Chief Executive of WA East District Assembly, to promptly process payments for pending educational support and developmental projects requested by Dr. Godfred Seidu Jasau, the Member of Parliament for WA East constituency. The MP had made a demand for his share of the District Assembly Common Fund, which the DCE failed to release. Public Accounts Committee Chairman Ejisu Abedi issued a stern directive during the ongoing 2022 Public Accounts Committee hearing in Sunyani, as the DC, accompanied by the district coordinating the financial, appeared there. This has been pending since 2022. We are in 2024. Story was published in 2024. And since 2022, when the order was given, one DC who thinks that this is an MP on the other side, who, if I give money to, he's not going to put it in his pocket, but he's going to use it for education or whatever. But I won't give you. And Johnny, that's why I was telling you that.
Johnny, to be fair,
the reality on the ground,
to be fair,
is there that DCs like that who don't think about the people, they think about party and what party can get.
To be fair, you have a point. That is why even the MPP, they had to enact a certain edict that if you are a DC, you don't contest a certain member of
That's
parliament.
right.
If you want to contest, it's because of some of these things. But I'm just saying that, and of course, I mean, if you go to Parliament and ask MPs, the District Assembly Common Fund has been in arrears for so many quarters.
Right.
They threatened even not to come to the State of the Nation because Common Fund.
But in this particular case,
the money is there, but he doesn't want to
sitting down. The DCE refuses to give
Fair point.
the money.
Fair point. But what I'm saying is that these are challenges, that peculiar challenges that you face. Of course, you may be able to stifle the development of an area because you are not giving all those, support and the rest. But democracy is a government of the popular. This is the person we want. Let him go and represent that. The president and the MPP have given their set of ideas and policies for Ejisu. Similar vein, they should allow Adiomi to also say what he wants to say. Let the people choose.
But you see, when the president, so in this particular instance, the DC justified that, I haven't gotten any letter, I'm not aware, blah, blah, blah. Then the MCD says, Chief, we got the letter. We have showed it to you. We've minuted it. Now, this DC will be picking an indication and inspiration from the president, who says that if my preferred candidate doesn't win, forget about development. And I'm saying he has said it even to chiefs when they called on him at the Jubilee House. He said it that Misheda yi minimum because he said it. And that is very reckless of any president anywhere in the world who swears an oath to say, I will take care of all of you regardless. It is part of the presidential oath.
Absolutely.
Then he comes back to say, oh, I will be selective. These people, if they don't choose my blue, white, and red, I will punish them. How? Beatrice.
You just mentioned blue, white, and red, and just reminded me of a very controversial subject last week.
The school blocks.
Exactly.
It's just blue and white. That's just blue and white.
I read a comment from somebody who said they should just add the red color, then we know that this goes. I mean, people
but what are your expectations for today?
I think before I even talk about my expectations, really, Duke has spoken about some of the things that have happened that the MPP really should have paid attention to. And I think he talks, the last argument he made about the utterances of the president. And really, he shared a number of interpretations that I had when I heard that or saw that video exactly Sunday night. And the bit of what he's saying, that there's a need for the MPP to look at the critical implications of what the president says, for instance.
Right.
And it just reminded me of when Emmanuel Macron, the French president, was in Ghana. I wasn't around at the time, but when I watched the video of how embarrassing he was, the embarrassing situation he was put in when the president said, don't come and talk to us like we always need, crumbs and all.
A few months later, we were begging.
Exactly. And there are certain conversations within certain quarters and don't forget that France is one of our bilateral creditors. And we've seen, even though the IMF deal seems to be making progress, you hear the IMF executives, they tell you that we seem to be making progress faster than other countries. Before we even struck the deal, there were certain arguments within certain quarters that, listen, before you have that boldness to go talk to an important partner or creditor like that, then you should know that your financials, I think there's a proverb that says, a blind man will not say, I'm trying to remember, I will throw a stone at you or do something to you if he is not standing on something.
That's right.
So you go make that statement, you haven't dealt with corruption. Recently, when we had this, the finance ministry issued that letter that, listen, if you want to go ahead to pass the anti-LGBTQ bill, look at the things you're going to lose.
Right.
We'll lose this, we'll lose that, we'll lose that potentially.
Right.
And there were certain international economists on social media who are saying that stop making that argument because Ghana loses more to corruption than we would gain or these amounts that you're mentioning in this letter if we went ahead and passed the anti-LGBTQ bill. So my understanding is either perhaps it looks like a penchant from the president to be making such comments, not just locally, but we've seen it on the international level. Either there are people who haven't seen that, like Duke was saying, and haven't analyzed the critical implication of that, or the president is his own man. Like he said, if you fix the road in a community, it wasn't you who fixed it. I'm the president. I eventually or indirectly fixed that road. Now, you asked me about my expectation for
That's
today.
correct, yeah.
And again, we've laid the facts bare that this is a very critical election for the NPP. And it becomes critical, and should I say the Ejisu constituency, it becomes critical because we just gave the statistics in terms of how much votes John Kuma had. Over 60,000 in 2020. But again, it goes beyond how much the person got at the entry to Parliament.
Right.
It also about what you did when we gave you the power. You're looking at a man who's worked so hard that some people feel that he was even a part of their family. I mean, he contributed so much, not just to the constituency, but also the personal lives of the constituents as well. Now, it becomes important because the constituents are looking at, can we fill the seat with somebody who can do, if not the same as John Kuma, but at least more than, or at least close to what John Kuma did, so that we know we are not going backwards, but we are making progress. So that becomes critical for them. Can we, between Ediomi and Boateng, who is representing the MPP, who can we trust to continue that good work?
Right.
Or the good works that John Kuma started? So that becomes very critical.
And you know, John Kuma did a lot of the work through his links, like Duke has said, or from his pocket. If you look at the towering party office that had been built, you know, under the auspices and watch of John Kuma, the people come to the table with a certain expectation.
Yes.
Beyond doing party work, is also taking care of people's private school and their life and work and all that. It puts a strain on your pocket if you don't have the resources from elsewhere, or you do not have connections that can supply you with these resources to be able to settle these things. So now the people have a certain expectation.
Exactly.
And which of these 6 candidates and the two forerunners will be able to deliver that? I'm sure that's what you're talking about.
Exactly. And so it becomes very, and I agree again with what Duke said about the lobbying, because that stifling of development cannot really happen to all MPs completely if they have that ability to lobby and to get what they need for that development. Let's not forget, and this is just to educate, that MPs primarily are not development agents. They are just there to, you know, pass laws and ensure our policies and all of that are in shape. But when you come to a context like we have, where MCs and DCs want to, you know, overtake the MP instead of collaborating to ensure that the good of the constituency is upheld, then you have such situation. Just wanted to make that a last point about the expectations of the people, and to say that we have a clear example with us in Dom Kwabinya, Adjoa Safo, and Michael Kwe Jr.
That's my MP.
Yes, I mean, it's not just about the person, again, just having the vote, but doing something with it. And we know that over the years, the vote of Adjoa Safo dwindled to an extent that before Michael Kwe Jr. was elected eventually in the last MPP parliamentary primary, there were only a few votes. Duke, if you remember the numbers, there were only a few, I think it was less than 100. Exactly. So that should tell you that it's not about we electing you to represent. If you're not doing anything with the power we've given you, we're going to vote you out. And that is why this conversation about John Kuma and who occupies the seats that he was occupying before his unfortunate demise becomes very critical. The people are looking at who can fill this gap or maintain what we've seen over the past years.
I just quickly wanted to ask whether or not, from all of us, if we think what the president said in Ejisu would hurt or help the MPP's chances. I don't know whether the constituents will think, this posturing, dear, we don't really like it, and as such will vote against the NPP, or whether or not this is what is going to inspire them to vote in favor of the NPP. I don't know. From where we sit, what do we think?
It depends on the individuals. Absolutely. Unfortunately, we are in a country where a lot of people's minds are colored by parties. So they can choose to say this is red, although you can see clearly is white.
Well, but so if that's the the yardstick, chairman for the region, Ntwibo Isiako Wuntumi,
yes,
he went to the region to campaign. I mean, he was booed. I mean, and it's not a joke. We just glossed over it, but he was booed in his own backyard, right? So, because Ashanti is supposed to be in his palm,
yes,
right? He's supposed to be the man in charge. If he gets anywhere, like maybe a Volta regional minister of NDC, a Volta regional chairman of the NDC in the Volta region goes there and is booed by his people.
That's serious.
That's serious.
But you see, cool. the statement.
So then it brings to the fore, are the people departing from partisanship and looking at what will inure to their benefit in terms of the individual and what the person brings to the table, or are they, because until John Kuma's demise, we didn't hear pretty much of a doom.
No.
Yeah, it was, and people know that he has always been in the constituency. He had been there before, but when John Kuma came onto the scene, he literally took a backbench. He's only stepping forward now because John Kuma is not around.
I thought he was contemplating.
Well, he was, yes. So, but he was contemplating. So he had stepped forward now, looking at what all of these that are happening. Now, the ultimate thing is, are the people now becoming so sophisticated, and have they now opened their eyes to say that, okay, yes, this is my party. Yes, this is my region. Yes, this is my tribe. But the way things have been conducted, I don't think I should still go with it. I need to change.
But Johnny, you haven't mentioned money. You haven't mentioned the money aspect, because there's money as well. We've seen in recent elections that really and truly, it's really the highest bid. I don't know whether that aspect has come in at this point.
If that were the case, then Asin North would have been the litmus test.
Right.
Because the monies that we saw on tape, people laying claim and showing the money that they got, and the party didn't, really fight it back. That should have won the elections for the NPP.
I think
unfortunately, it did not win the elections. If you look at how the campaigns were fought, the big giant stages, President Akufo-Addo, everybody was there, and the NDC was running a low campaign, going into the corners. They didn't even have a big stage and all of that. If you look at the campaigns that were waged in Asin North, if money was really the decider, they would have won.
I think that the bit about people becoming more sophisticated, and it really has nothing to do with either those supporters are NDC or MPP. It's just the Ghanaian electorate becoming more educated. And another clear example is what happened to Oseche Mensah Bonsu before he decided that he wasn't going to run again. He goes to Duke, was it Swami magazine? And the people, exactly. So that should tell you that yes, there are still people who have that entrenched partisan positions, but I feel that a lot more people are becoming, okay, I love this party, I've been with it, that's my family party and all of that, but there seems to be a lot more of the buts, so that if you're not doing what we think you should do, then we'll decide otherwise. I think a lot more people are becoming that way.
Duke, let's look at the dynamics in Parliament.
Right.
What would this mean if Ediomi wins, he becomes an independent, he goes to Parliament? Some say, well, he would remain blue-blooded and do business with the MPP. That will show up the MPP side or the majority side votes, or if you like, their numbers to 139 now, right? If Ediomi wins and joins.
Yes. So
if Boateng wins and joins, it would be the same narrative. If, however, Ediomi wins and decides that, okay, I'm going to do business with the minority, that then brings to 138, 138. What does that mean?
This is going to be the status quo as it is. As we have it now, it's 137, 137. Because of the vacant seat in Ejisu, right? And the new standing orders say that whenever a vote ends in a tie, the vote is deemed to have been lost. What that means is that if the NDC or the minority, on every occasion that there is a big vote, right, in Parliament, and it ends in a tie, it means government cannot push its business through. One of the reasons why majority held a full-blown press conference and they were so angry about the fact that on the last day of Parliament, the March 20th, the Speaker decided to end proceedings abruptly, and Parliament had to go on break after his long treatise that he read, feeding into the fracas between himself and the President. It's the fact that there were a tall list of business that they wanted to get done and they didn't get done. Right. So, point is, if also Ediomi wins, he would have to decide where he would caucus with. Which of the caucuses he would join.
That's right.
If he decides that he will join the NDC caucus, that will give the NDC 138, which would make them the majority.
What would that mean for the composition of committees, working committees in Parliament? Because you know that in the scheme of things, the majority would decide who becomes chairman.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So now if the numbers show up on the side of the NDC, right? Because this will be numbers that will be organic numbers for them. Do they become the majority, and then do they decide who becomes chairman? Means that we have to recompose the committees?
That's the committees have just, in fact, they are in the process of being recomposed because of the new standing order. So now Parliament has an entirely new configuration when it comes to
No, I'm
committees.
talking about the leadership of the committee,
Yes,
which is the reserve of.
Yes, you have to constitute the committees first before you bring in the leadership. So that's actually ongoing. I'm sure they didn't complete it before the House went on recess. But if Aduomi decides to caucus with them, they become the majority in terms of the numbers, and then there would be this issue about majority caucus and minority caucus and all of that. This will be a very grey area, uncharted waters. But just by the sheer volume of the numbers, what this would mean is that if the NDC happens, if the caucus, that is NDC and Aduomi, makes it to 138, and then the MPP and Fomena, that is Ndro Amakwesiama, makes it 137 for the NDC, for the MPP. What that means is that NDC will now have more numbers, and whatever decision has to be taken, if they are able to marshal all their numbers, a lot can happen.
Beatrice, what do you see?
And also, let me just
Sorry.
let me also put in that there are a number of minority MPs who are currently in court, and we've seen in times past how that has been used, allegedly has been used by some people in government to get the government business done. So the times when cases are called, when you have numbers, so it throws in the House into a whole different, regime that we have not seen before.
Right.
So Collins Dada is in court, the minority leader himself, Atu Forson, is in court.
Yeah.
Then there is Asim North,
Jachi Kwesi.
yes. So at least three high-profile members are in court regarding different issues that they are facing currently. It may not have a bearing on the numbers. It could have a bearing on the numbers. But what we are saying is that if Aduomi wins, our parliament will go into a fray that has never gone. If he wins and he decides to caucus with the NDC, because he may win, or he could win and decide that no, I am going to caucus. I'm going back to my roots. A lot happens when he could be promised the ticket. If he wins and then
he has actually been promised a ministerial position, deputy ministerial position.
Right in front of
because the president says that, look, as for Ejisu, when you become an MP, you're straight.
That was Boateng.
That was Boateng.
How can you promise Aduomi?
No, sorry. That was to Boateng, not Aduomi.
Yes.
Well, but we have also seen in the past, the president had made similar comments. And a case in point is Esiama in Parliament. Yeah, the president was very emphatic. I remember that even that Deba was actually close knit. It was under a tree, close knit. You know, the people were there, chiefs and everybody, and the president was very emphatic. That vote against him, because if you vote for him, no development, blah blah blah. Well, we've seen some development in under Selim Akufo-Addo. We've seen him working with him, and I'm sure as leadership in Parliament,
but for me, it's still hanging.
Well, it's still hanging.
There's a problem.
I know.
There are members of the party there who think there should be a primary.
I know.
There are people also who think that the way this guy has really helped us the past, why should anybody? We should give him
and there's
an
also
automatic ticket.
Who used his money to go and bring the guy back.
That one I can't.
Yeah, but he said it himself. who thinks that? Well, I went to use my money to bring the guy back. I want him in. What are you doing?
So
those dynamics come to play.
So it could be Fomena all over again in Ejisu. And I'm saying that if the MPP does not win this primary, they will do everything possible to bring him back into their fold.
That's right.
Now,
it's happening for Fomena.
Helen, you tell me.
Yes.
Do you think that the people in Ejisu will call the president's bluff and decide that, look, let's vote for Aduomi and let's see if really ahead of the 2024 elections you will really come and develop this place or not?
I think Global Info Analytics poll is going to come to pass, that it will be a win by some very slim margin. I do think that Aduomi will not take the day today.
No, I'm just asking. That's a poll that has been done.
Yes, I think that's how it's going to manifest.
I'm saying that you have an major election coming up in 2024 in December. This is just a by-election to get somebody to fill the space, all right? Now, the president has said that if you do not vote for my preferred candidate, forget about development. But the president and the vice president, who is the flag bearer now, would require the projects in Ejisu to be able to go back there and develop and say, we have done this for you. If you give us the opportunity, we'll continue. Now, if the people decide to call off his bluff and decide to vote for Aduomi, will he then say that I will not put development there? That would put that seat which has always been an NPP seat, at risk. Do you think that the people will call the president bluff?
They won't. I'm telling you that it's not going to be a Duomi's day.
Okay.
The MPP candidate is going to win, by my prediction, by a slim margin. So I don't think the MPP has a lot to worry about. But you never, ever, ever. No, I don't think they're going to call the president's bluff. I don't think so.
What do you think? Are they going to risk it? Play pitch and toss?
I think it's too close to call. Should I say?
You think it's too close to call?
I think that anything can happen. Yes, there's the Global Info Analytics survey or poll, as it were, but anything can happen. And I'm just looking forward to the kind of parliament that we'll have, which Duke has given us a bit of understanding of. I mean, you already have a near-hung parliament, and you heard the president complaining bitterly. I don't know whether, I didn't hear that when we played the sound, saying, someone who knew my parliament.
Yeah, he said it.
You hear majority. Exactly. So it's very obvious. And the NDC minority in parliament is also bent on ensuring that, listen, you're not going to have it easy passing through any bill, because we think that you've borrowed too much. And again, when it comes to ministerial positions, we think that you should cut down on your government. So should it go the other way around? Yes, it's going to be quite interesting. But I wouldn't stick my neck out and say that Boateng is going to win because there's a Global Info Analytics poll that is suggesting, because anything can.
I mean, they have a margin of error, and what they're saying is that the margin this time round could be quite slim. Listen, whatever happens today, tomorrow is going to be a very interesting.
They said Hillary Clinton will win ahead of the 2020 elections with so many.
So it's fear delegates and fear polls.
Exactly.
You actually won the popular vote.
Right.
Yeah,
it was the electoral college that.
Exactly.
Well, but you know that the dynamics in America are different from what we have here.
Yes.
Ours is first past the poll.
Yes.
Now, and I tend to side with Beatrice.
Parliamentary.
Yes.
But presidential
50% plus one. Yes. But this is a parliamentary election. That's why I use that. Now, I side with Beatrice because, you see, anything can change even on the morning of the election.
Yeah.
Even on the day of the election.
Yeah.
Anything at all can change, depending on how maybe somebody saw the police handle, a person, or how they saw the security was too intimidating.
Yeah.
How some parliamentary aspirant conducted himself. Anything at all.
How much money maybe this morning is being offered along with the cocoa, and thank you for wasting time on me.
So until the ballot sheets are counted and the announcement is made, you cannot be too sure that
the
you are
constituents will be feeling the same way Duke is feeling. Trust me, they'll be thinking about the constitution in the House of Parliament, and they'll be thinking, Charlie, let's not make things too untidy. Let's not rock the boat.
Do you know that there are some NPP diehard people who are honestly hoping that there will be that, stiff break in Parliament.
Interesting.
For people, for the government to sit up, because there are MPP people who speak to some of us on the back and who say that, look, we think that our government is not even listening to us. We think that our government is not monitoring what is happening. And they are going down a certain path because they have seen the NDC go down a certain path.
Yeah.
They have seen the NPP in the past go down a certain path. And they see themselves going down that path. Like the typical Ethiopia or I don't care kind of thing.
Then go to fear no night.
Yes. So now they want a situation where the system will pinch those in charge to wake up and say, hey.
I don't believe that, Johnny. I don't believe that, Johnny. That really, as an NPP member, they really want that kind of shake-up.
So look at, for example, Dr. Baumia was so sure of over 90% victory at the primaries.
Yeah.
What was the result?
Did he reach 70?
He didn't reach 70.
He didn't even reach 70, no.
Look at Kennedy Ejapong. From nowhere.
Surprisingly.
He just decided to enter. And the views expressed by Kennedy Ejapong are people who can stand in front of his own party people and tell them what you're doing is rubbish.
Johnny, let me just...
And these are the creme de la creme of the NPP party, who decided that they were going to endorse Kennedy Ejapong regardless of whoever it was and what he was doing.
Right.
It should tell you how that trickles down to the very grassroots. Because the people who voted at the national level for the presidential primaries, some of them have great influence in their constituencies, in their whatever it is.
That is true.
So if I am the one taking care of you, and I am the one taking care of your child. I am the one taking care of accommodation. And I tell you, on this particular instance, I don't think this guy is right. You may not get 100% following you, but you get some chunk of it. And you know, the numbers game, first past the post, don't joke with it.
A few parting comments. Have you noticed that John Kumar has not even been buried? He
has not been buried. That's true. That's true.
Have you noticed that usually what would be by-elections that come after the death of MPs? Usually there's an element of sympathy that is evoked.
Right.
I have not seen that in this election.
Yeah.
It's been totally absent.
In fact, at John Kumar's 1 week celebration, there was some subtle campaign that happened. A subtle campaign.
So
and people in Ejisu were asking the question,
I don't know the kind of political strategy that has informed that. Because it is one of the easiest ways to garner votes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Tapping into those sympathy sentiments.
We have not been able to tap into it. I mean, using the widow and people who are close to...
At all. And I don't know what strategy is informing that. But that is like sure banker, an easy way of getting that. To say that, he came from our fold. Unfortunately, this has happened to him. Let's continue his legacy. Let somebody from the same fold continue to do that. Instead of this...
It looks like a back and forth. Duke, thank you very much. Duke has to go on TV. Beatrice will stay a bit with us because we're getting some update from Ibrahim Abubakar, and is going to join us shortly with some update from the Ashanti region. Ibrahim Abubakar is one of our men on the ground. Earlier you had William Evans Income, who's shared with us that the processes have been smooth so far, and we'll connect with Ibrahim in a bit. But Helen, back. Okay, so let's go to Ashanti region. Ibrahim Abubakar joins us now. Ibrahim, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Johnny.
Now, what can you share with us from where you are? First, tell us where you are.
Well, I'm currently at Onwe, that's the Rupal School Park, where we are expecting the NPP candidate, Kwabena Boateng, to also come and cast his ballot. But so far, the process has been smoothly. I've seen a number of people now coming here. We are expecting a little over 400. So far, about 30 of them have come and vote. More and more are coming. And basically, or generally, I would say, per all the polling stations I've visited, it's been smooth, with the exception of Bonre and also one area within Owin where there has been allegations and counter-allegations with regards to vote buying. In fact, some of the voters themselves were complaining that when they came to vote, they had people coming to them to tell them that they should vote for a particular candidate, and when they are done, they should come for their TNT, and that raised some objections and other things. And some were also alleging that they've seen a vehicle parked not far from the voting center, and they've realized that people are going there to pick money. But these are just the normal allegations and counter-allegations when it comes to voting.
But are you able to confirm whether or not, like we saw in Asin North, people leave and come and show the money and they say, well, we have taken the money, but we won't vote for them, or we have taken the money, this is it, I can show you, and I'm going to use it for A, B, C, and D. Have we seen anything of that sort in Ejisu?
Well, so far I've not seen people rejecting, but personally I've seen people who are done with their voting, they go to others and take money. It's not in an envelope, but you go there, especially at Onwe, there is a joint just behind the voting center. We were suspicious because we realized that most of the people who finish voting, they go through that same stretch. So we had to trace it. We just went there and we realized and there are people standing there. When you come, they dip their hands in their pocket and give it to them. They said it is just for transport, and these are people they complain who had decided not to come and vote. So they are offering them transport to come and vote so that they will go and continue with their other activity. But I've not been to places where I've seen people taking the money but coming out to say, hey, we will not vote. Bonre, those people who were complaining, resisted it in the first place. They didn't even take the money when they were told that after voting they should come and take their transport. They said no, they are not going, and they were making noise that people are there sharing money and they are influencing others' decision to vote for a particular candidate.
Mr. Diome has been accused of being in bed with the NDC. I'm sure because you live in the region and you work in the region, you would know party bigwigs from the side of the NDC who may have taken an interest in the elections for today and may be hovering around. Have you seen any of such people?
Well, some regional, I would say almost all the regional executives are in town, moving from one place to the other, especially at Bisiansi, where is the hometown of Eduomi and where he is expected to go and vote. Some MCEs are there, former MCEs, some party bigwigs, and both regional and national executives are patrolling that area. For Onwe, where their candidate is expected to vote, I've not seen any party bigwig so far, but for Bisiansi and the likes of Bongre, where they believe Eduomi has the grounding there, and they are there just to monitor how the exercise is panning out. You made about the allegation, fine, he has denied it. The regional NDC has also denied fielding him as a candidate. But when you come to the constituency, there was one gentleman that I spoke to and others who were members of the parliament, members of NDC. They came there and say, well, looking at all the 6 candidates, they believe strongly that Eduomi is the one who can fight for development for them. And for that matter, they have thrown their support to him. Since they've not fielded any candidate, they have thrown their support to him. But that is not to say that maybe on December 7th, when they field a candidate, they will still support the candidature of Eduomi. But in fact, even the former NDC organizer here was telling me, in case in an event Eduomi wins, then he will even propose to the national executives not to field any candidate when it comes to NDC, because the timing and other things are very short for
Bill,
them to even...
Ibrahim, let's talk about the turnout. Is it encouraging?
Well, it depends on the polling stations. Others, you go there, you see a number of people queuing. In fact, even before 6 a.m., some of the polling stations, I saw people in queue. But these are old men. So it is said that most of the people who are voting are the aged old men and women who have come to vote and go back home. And the youth are now coming in one at a time, maybe hopefully by midday. Others too have decided not to even go and vote at all, because today is a working day, and for some of them, their job schedule will not permit them to come and join any queue and vote. So they do not know whether they close by then, maybe 4 or 5, and if still voting is ongoing, they may come and vote. Others are also eager to participate and elect who will represent them in parliament. So for me, for instance, where I am currently, that's the Rufa Educational Complex, and they are expecting around 400 to come and vote. As I speak to you, a little over 30 of them had voted. But you go to Ejisu proper, and you realize that the turnout there is very, very huge.
Let's stay in Ejisu and go to Ejisu Zongo, because that's also a very interesting polling area within the constituency. What's happening there, do you know?
Well, that area too is seeing large number of people who are coming. The turnout there, I would say, is massive. But so far, like we know, that place is a hotspot. But so far, everything has been done smoothly. I've not seen any confusion there. In fact, security, though, has been beefed up, not just at Ejisu Zongo, but all the polling stations, just to ensure that the election is conducted devoid of any violence. So you see some station there, others also patrolling in their vehicles and also on motorbike, just to monitor situation. But so far, Ejisu Zongo has been very peacefully, and we are hoping that it continues like this.
Thank you. Ibrahim Abubakar is a man on the ground as well. Joins us here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Now, here's a former constituency chairman of the NDC in the Ejisu constituency in the Ashanti region. Take a listen.
You're from the right for Kokumensa. The year 2 and a party Benamo. Party Benamo. Me NDC. We had this former constituency organizer. Yeah, 2 are parliamentary candidates. And yeah, NDC, and then MPP, and then CPP, and then independent. Yeah, 2 about you Obia, Obeka see, yeah, Nemo Ewo, and Rashebejum. Now, me, as a former constituency organizer, for NDC, no. NDC yanko race ni bi ana contest ni yanko bi na mo mehwe omo contesting nyina na enipa se odi ni kogina se ontimi nkasa no onji bibi emre constituency na omo nyina no adwoni ye better chen omo nyina enu nti na ama me dem support ama honorable Kwabena Wusodiem. I found a hopa, you're producing puntu. The second number beer, yeah, can I say, you're producing puntu. Say, fully agent, my good. Fully agent. Me, say, you're the flesh a mouth for Abano Mabato. Yes, no Mabato Abano. I mean, within the music. Sir, almost say, I just remind and this people for you in Afra. And here was honorable Kwabena Wusodiem, on the best candidate. It was on you know. Many are by the can say honorable Kwabena Wusodiem. A gun in an office brain or no Casa Ujawi. Who are them? Who said, hey, honorable, but one more Makawana Nimuno. It is a mamma, I have for clan or about one of the GBBA. And now so in the cafe now we are fine. So you need race we are 7 December, just so my one so. Now when is the candidate? I know yes, yeah, better, and I'm a just so. That's the candidate. Men cast on your better, me say, but the bad says you have to about 6 months' time. Now you better change candidate, and you're possible.
My colleague Nadaya Abrefo there with former constituency organizer of the Ejisu constituency, the Beatrice. So this is
it sounds very
it's on the ground. This is from on the ground this morning. Hot.
Sounds so rare.
Woto.
I mean, so rare.
And you could hear the MPP person in the background say, oh boy.
It sounds very rare. I mean, for somebody who is not just a member of the NDC, but occupied an executive position in that constituency, it sounds rare that he would say, well, I'm looking forward to getting somebody who would do better for the constituency. And even when pushed to talk about, aren't you concerned about your own representative? He says, well, I'm not still talking about NDC.
Yeah,
MPP,
if we vote for this person in 6 months, we would go back.
I
wish it wasn't.
Is this not tactics?
Settings.
I wish.
Is this not settings, tactics, romantics, antics? Come on, guys.
I wish
this is politics.
I wish we didn't have secret ballots, so I would see that really this guy went to vote for a Diomi like he said.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. We will know after the polls have ended today. But thank you very much, Beatrice Edu. She's a producer and also a news anchor here at Media General, and you should listen to her at midday for the news updates. Thank you so much. We're grateful.
Thank you.
Great.
We no go fight, not so. Where they smoke them big cigars and drive them big cars and leave us with bitter scars. We don't want no war. We don't want no war.
We have one Ghana, and our banner must be peace, justice, and love. We have one Ghana.
And there's a lot of activity happening at Ejisu, the constituency. We have our men on the ground. We are fully covered. Yeah.
Of course, this is your election command center. Johnny, quite interestingly, a number of our listeners, they've been they're tuned in, of course, on the socials. They said they hadn't averted their minds to the composition in the House of Parliament. They said, actually, if things go a certain way, we could see the House of Parliament moving in a very different age. Very, very different manner. So this Ejisu by-election is one to certainly watch. If you weren't paying attention before, like most of you are telling me now, hey, you hadn't averted your minds. Now you are awake, you are alert.
Now I've asked the question, you have heard the answer. So now start thinking.
But Johnny, also a lot of reaction to what the president said. And a lot of you have been following the pattern for Mena, Mepe, and it's not looking good on the socials as far as the president's utterances are concerned.
What is even more disturbing for me is that the vice president, who also said that he would do differently if he's given the opportunity, went there to endorse what the president said. You get the point. It doesn't present him as somebody who wants to do different when given the opportunity, because if you want to do different, as they say in Akan,
that's right.
If the play is going to be good, it starts right from the morning or in the morning. So you can't tell me one thing and be doing a direct opposite. And I sincerely and honestly want to think that we need to move away from this overly partisan attitude towards democracy. If the constituency is not an NDC or an MPP stronghold, does it mean that the people should not get development? And you go into certain constituencies that are supposed to be, let's say, an MPP stronghold or an NDC stronghold. And then there are electoral areas that say, as for this electoral area, they always tilt towards party A or party B. When party A is in power, if the electoral area tilts towards party B, you find that they have the worst potholes. They have, like, nobody pays attention to them. Absolutely nobody pays attention. And I ask myself, you take their property rate, you take their business operation permit. When they have goods to clear from the port, you take their import duties, you take their whatever taxes. So why can't they get their share of the national cake?
Absolutely.
Because if what the president said is anything to go by, and he has said that repeatedly, we need to dismiss that quickly.
Honestly. This idea that you will only be successful or can only be successful when they say, when my party comes, things will change. If my party comes, my fortunes will change. It's just such a detrimental position for all citizens. The partisanship, sometimes it's so disgusting how it permeates every single facet of life. I mean, come on, are we all not one people, as the song is telling us? It's one Ghana. But sometimes the way that we behave, and this being fueled by the president, it's not a good look.
It's not a good look at all.
No.
Okay, so let's listen to the president. Let's listen to President Akufo-Addo. Let's listen to him at Asin North, right? The president in Asin North, and then, or maybe we'll hold on to Asin North. Let's go to let's listen to Asin North.
Now, if you don't know the way Bema, the beer Bema Ambra, no Jim Hono, or Jim Hono. Yeah, poor Piano Baba the Sumo. No, you didn't ask me about the Hamaji. Then tell me, newspaper move. I say North MP say, I say North MP say. Yeah, poor Piano Baba Yajuma. Now the fiancé of every to me about Yajuma. Maybe some who the fiancé of to me about Yajuma. And that man I will to me I prison. I die a human I will to me I prison. Sanko Uncle Jim Moa, Uncle Fanuma. Nasana Abamo. It is a NDC for a penisa. Miss Ramo, Mamma, yes, I'm from so new. More pet Opia. Or Baba yet a Juma. Then your Babbage now, appeal court, or Tennessee Supreme Court, or Tennessee High Court. You have to be there. Yeah, MP.
Choose peace, not war.
That's President Akufo-Addo in Asin North. Okay, now let's go to President Akufo-Addo at Fomena. Shall we listen to the president in Fomena?
Yes, me shut down Tias, Nana. Me say, why not say be a independent candidate? Long before, about 3 months, they said that friend. I mean, it's a matter of say, oh, per se, oh, independent. I'm so independent, no. M1. So I need to crown independent candidate for parliament. Is completely dominated by party candidates. And they are now between me. It's so from so be abba. Na sound from so tina before about wa fine. Opeso independent. Mr. Young friend before no, and from so and to chai. Yan twaba ne wie. The BSC here, a mantias here, Juma. Am I also so unya wa hotono. Mini president to me, the son of one, but I shall me. So there's a 7 mayor at Tabuafo. You call ya Tabuafo, Akubi. Tabuafo, not only ambassador of Congo. You don't pay you. I will free me honor. I'll visit the Batimasia. Say on Timasia. You are Papa.
That's President Akufo-Addo in Fomena, Helen. So we're just doing a playback of the things that the president had said. Now we go to Mepe in the Volta region after the dam spillage by the VRA.
I came here because Ghanaians are having difficulties and are suffering. And it is my responsibility to try and help. Because if it's a question of counting who votes for me and who doesn't vote for me, I shouldn't be here because you don't vote for me. But that is not my concern. And in any event, one day you will vote for me and my party.
President Akufo-Addo there in Mepe, and this was after what, 3 weeks or so since the people had, because he traveled outside the country, came there in his winter jacket. Yeah, and
I think that was his maybe NADMO jacket, disaster jacket.
He came there.
Yes, he was there.
But this was after 3 weeks or so.
That's right.
After the thing hit, so it was not an emergency. Within that same period, he tweeted about. Which place did he tweet about? The president tweeted about something.
There was something going on internationally.
Yeah, he tweeted about something.
Something we were told to that this was said in jest and that we should lighten up and that we're too serious and he didn't really mean it. And we were going too far. It's just a little joke. And a lot of people were like, not at a time like this. No, not when people have lost everything in investment. But we've seen the same speech replicated as you have.
This was 6 months ago. The Mepe thing was 6 months ago. The people are still sleeping in tents. They don't have, their lives back.
This is correct. Right? There are a number of people in the especially the disaster epicenter, Mepe, who are still living in tents as we speak. That's a fact.
Okay. Akumfi.
Akra. Atukujo. No, MP. The man be a minister. Or a deputy minister. They need to. So when you say and Namson, so also the Shasai BB, Amamo, Kufi. Uncle actually election for by a year in free hall. Then you know, can't be like a cram to your cousin, Miss Me, Manica Crass of Fibus. Man can't cry, but there's also the mobile material walker.
Evo. So the Yimeni Kakramam. Yimeni Amam.
Well, if you can infer a pattern from the audio clips that Johnny has
played like 4 or 5 of them for you, so we don't know. Anyway, please call us 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154, 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Mepe, Fomena, Ejisu, Asin North, and matters are rising. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Odewale.
Yes, my brother.
Talk to me.
Still wishing the people of Ejisu the very best. I believe we live in districts, communities, and villages, hamlets.
Right.
They know the man who belongs to them. If somebody has represented you for 3 good times, I don't think there's a need for choose, pick and trial candidates. So they know their vote. Their vote is their secret. We only pray that there should be total peace. Nobody should use incumbency to intimidate anybody. The police, just as you were on the job at Asim North, be on the job. Be it a party chairman, whoever, arrest them. Because they have their way to misbehave. Be at everywhere. They know how to maneuver things. Because it is their job. Some will always share blood before the rest. It's in the Bible. And now we have gotten them in Ghanaian modern politics. So police clamp them down. And when you arrest them this time around, let's see them being tried. If possible, be jailed. So that to serve as a lesson. Have a blessed morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go down to
the That's it, Casa.
Oh. Yeah, I walk on the about 2 months and I'm going to make a major.
It's you.
Once we are the Yakasi Edimpa, yes, in Yahunya. Now, Yakuponga Katianson, yes, you was and Albania, a Yasatisu, a Wunda. Takabu was and Yankan, this one will be an but what yes you are. Oh, I did Yakufa better than you did next year, baby, and Sutokrani and them, and I don't that Yakupons who are that Ghana for, who can win who was in Udinia. Election be a good for work with Ejisu Mokochi Kawasi. I didn't know about Ghana when you now say, I don't believe in Ghana for yes, so and then the other day I'm a new of Medasi.
Medasi, good morning.
Johnny, let's say it as it is, my brother. Good morning, my brother. This is Papa on the line.
Morning, sir.
Let's say it as it is. We have rocks living us.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
take your time. Take your time.
No. It's really annoying.
Take your time. Take your time.
Under John Mahama's regime, they talk about Woyoma because his contract didn't go through Parliament. Is that it? Not it for approval. Is that not it? Is that not it, Johnny?
That's true.
Good. How come that under the NADO's regime there's a different law that they can give contract to Mackenzie without parliamentary approval, and they'll be paying them SML without parliamentary approval? Is that proper? That's why our running mate, what do you call it? Domama's vice, Professor Nana, he said, look, there's an arrogance of what you call it, power, pretentious, what do you call it, way of doing things.
Papa, take your time.
Are they not aware? Are they not aware that the SML deal didn't go through parliamentary approval? Are they not aware that Mackenzie deal didn't go through parliamentary approval? Why are we still talking about SML and things like that? They should clear out the SML. We don't need it because it has no parliamentary approval. We don't need it.
Thank you very much. We're grateful. Good morning.
Good morning.
Abu?
Yes, sir.
What you saying?
You now say.
I meet you.
Oh, the other power, no. Once a voice, I will walk for the voice in actually, as for the Subaya or the Ghana. Only voice of way, who Pia Baku, Minute, your friend Nana or Fanny, and then no debate. No head or pet, Nagana and paying for air, channel, number person. But all you understand, do baby some pay. So yes, I'm a party no crack as a Guru. By election Moko, Ghana, quite who's the Bama so. Wanted to one VIP, oi, cousin qua, the 2 houses of Crocker, a run for Kona Drua, one better Ghana fire. No more discovery, Equa check. So we'll be back. Now what did I can one man have? Sana Ghana, would the mass and probably would you quite wait a kilometer to the cra and Kenya. Akufado.
Abu Medase, thank you. And you can also call us 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154, 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny.
Yes, boss.
Johnny, please, this girl from Ashaiman.
Talk to me, bro.
Johnny, today is the final day for MPP to go home, so we are going to check from the by-election. The outcome from the by-election is going to be 2024.
But what if the MPP wins?
December.
What if the MPP wins? What does it mean?
The MPP is not going to win this election.
Hey, are you there? Are you there in Ejisu?
Come again.
Are you there? Are you going to vote in Ejisu?
Oh, from the background check we've made, the independent candidate is going to win.
I see.
And we will see if Nanado will work with him.
Okay.
Then first, Nanado failed his promises by working with the independent candidate in parliament already. So we'll see this one too, the outcome.
I hear you.
I leave you with God.
Thank you. I leave you with God too. Thank you very much. Hey.
Say, government shoe is not for you. Forever.
Abian, what song is that? Government shoe is not for you, for everybody. Say, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Johnny Hughes.
Yes, sir. My brother, how are you?
I'm good.
Yes, sir. Talk to me.
Please, Mr. Hughes. In fact, it's like...
You sound far away. Speaking to the phone.
Please, this is Francis speaking.
Yes, Francois.
Yeah, from Kokobite.
Okay.
Please, the doom saw is really affecting us. In fact, if I should tell you, the thing is, if you are saying it, some people will say, oh, that's the normal thing. Only just yesterday, my TV just got spoiled. The light came and went, and it came again. I don't know. Some of the switch work, others still don't work. In fact, this problem has. In fact, I don't know how to express it. And secondly, to add to the president's voice, in fact, somebody should talk to him. Those close to him, I see them not doing their work at all. How? How can you lead an old man like this to be talking in the house? It's not fair. Mr. Hughes, thank you very much for your...
Thank you very much, my brother. I'm grateful. Bless you too. Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny.
Yes, sir.
I'm calling you from Go. This is my first time coming to your program.
We are happy to have you here, sir. What's your name, Toby?
I'm Vincent Midoji.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
thank you.
I think this election, it as it sounds, is a very important election.
Mm-hmm.
To reach the people of Ejisu war, they should decide where we are all living this current situation. They know what is the temperature of this country. So they should just decide well for their good and for the good of this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny.
Hello, my darling. How are you?
Johnny.
Yes, madam.
Earlier on, one of my sisters called.
Yes.
About ice stinky.
Yes. Yes.
This is the same issue I'm facing here, Johnny. Now I don't have any capital. I don't know whom to call. Like, me will be a my friend. So, yeah, they get 300 cities that are starting for. Like, everything is gone, Johnny.
I don't get you. You said that you also run the same ice kinky business.
Sure. Sure.
And what happened? How is the doom so affecting the business?
You have to put it in the fridge. Now, it's like a new. No, I didn't. They want it fresh. Inti, won't mean koyeno to say, and then all the actual fridge, muno chinawa cotton. So I say, so we can't get there. Oh, and they bedroom lights and I ain't do. You just where ombe ground there at the animal. Ube bottle, now they are big good fridge. Now you can. But why? Me, I don't know what to do now. Me need capital. I swear to God. Well, I don't know why. Like you just lie about this.
You cannot lie about that because it's a matter of life and death.
It's really affecting us. Not that you need school, baby. You want school, but the economy is not helping. So you don't want to share baby a boy. Now to share. See what is happening to us.
Okay.
Really?
Please hold the line for me. Let's see if Janet can talk to you on that side. Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny.
Yes, boss.
How are you?
Well, I could be better. When I hear such harrowing experiences, it breaks me down.
Me too. On that, I don't want to say this on radio, but Johnny, can I talk to you behind so that maybe I want to play something for the lady?
Yes.
But I don't want to say it on radio.
Yes, we are happy to receive it on behalf of the.
So maybe if I can get a number, or maybe if they can mention some numbers, we could send something. We have to help ourselves.
Yes, I know. I will do that. I will do that for you in a bit. Just hold the line for me.
Okay.
3FM 92.7.
Okay, so they will speak with you on the back end. All right.
Okay.
Great. Thank you very much. And you can also call us 055-691-0154. 055-691-0154. And that's what we do here on Sunrise. We help ourselves. And it's good that we're helping ourselves. Earlier, this is a lady who spoke with us earlier. And somebody else has come to corroborate what she said. Listen.
Good morning, Mr. Johnny.
Hello, madam. How are you?
Mr. Johnny, we are not fine.
Oh.
We are not fine at all. All we are just saying that they should bring out a timetable. Like, it's clear. Like, I'm not even lying. See, I saw ice kinky.
Okay.
And drunk. Ice kinky, their bottles 100. Because my colleague now in the phone. We end no like you.
Right.
So she brought her to my place. And she no mudum life. Now say.
And
we have children. Or baba na yeshen. It is a big day.
Why is what they're asking. Good morning.
Sorry, good morning.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Sorry, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. Talk to me.
I'm trying to calm my voice and talk slowly so that you hear me clearly. And
yes, sir.
Johnny.
Yes, sir.
Is what is saying? It's not a lamentation. It's not a joke anymore. Like the suffering is becoming so real that even if you work and you make 20 cities a day and you want to go and save it, by tomorrow morning, the money alone automatically is depleting in your savings account. Johnny, do you get me?
I get you.
It means that your 20 cities that you want to save, when you are sick, when tomorrow your kidney failure has come, when tomorrow your children are sick, when tomorrow like this, something, when tomorrow, even when nothing is going, the little profit for when you go and save it, is depleted because the city keeps the deficiencies. Then now, even when you go to the okay, then let me not save it, let me use it to endeavor it become business. Somebody match change it. It's gone. Because, of course, the government refused to provide timetable so that the person will know that, tomorrow they're going to offline, so I don't need to do my match change. Let me keep my money. But nobody knows. Then you go and put your investment. Somebody's capital, she's saying it's 300 cities. All her capital is gone. The person has gone back to zero. What are they going to use? They have to buy soap, they have to buy salt, they have to buy pepper. People literally have to buy food items every day. Now, you ask them what they are going to eat in the whole day. Then you have a president who mounts stage and be talking arrogantly like an idiot.
Sorry about that. I apologize profusely for that. We can't use such words on radio. I apologize. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hughes.
Hey, Truth, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
Well, I'm fine. I know people are frustrated, so
yes,
sometimes
but then we need to control our emotions.
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, if you can put out a number, I think I got a couple of people who want to support the lady.
Okay.
And probably other people who, yes.
Yeah,
so if you can just put out a number.
I'll put out a number in a bit. Jane, bring me the number so we can put out a number for people. But let's hear you.
Okay. Johnny, so there's been a few videos out calling you out.
Me?
We need independence. Yes, you.
They said I've done what?
We need independent parliamentarians.
I beg you.
And Johnny,
I beg you.
You see, Johnny Hughes.
Yes,
please.
my darling.
You sit on radio. You talk about salient points. We need to act. Enough of the talking. Maybe a campaign amount. Independence. No, on a more serious note, Johnny, it's always, look, these are just by elections that's going on. The two main candidates, they are both NPP people. When Adiomi goes, we know it's just going to be politics at the end of the day, just like we had with Fomina. So now the youth, we are crying out to you. There's nothing we can do but to go into parliament as independent candidates. It's high time. You're monetizing politics. We need to stop.
Right.
So you that have a voice, you guys that we know, Johnny, you talk to your wife about it. I'm just imploring you.
I hear you, Truth.
Some of you, you need to get into. It's not politics. It's about fighting Kwame Nkrumah did it. In March, you had someone on your radio to talk about Kwame Nkrumah. I believe he acted. So some of you should act. We the youth now, we're gonna behind.
They said I'm in trouble, eh?
Yes, go on TikTok. I've seen like 6 videos calling you out. Say you guys stand on radio and all you do is talk. Go into parliament.
For me the evidence is clear. The scorecard is always scorecard.
We know your scorecard, and we know you can get better scorecards, bigger ones when you are there.
We will
representing us, not MPP NDC. You are representing the youth of Ghana.
Where I am too, I'm fine. The fourth estate.
So we are waiting for the mobile money number.
I'll put the number out in a bit.
Thank you so much.
I'm grateful. Good morning.
Good morning, Jerry.
Yes, sir, you did laugh me. You see your face.
No, I didn't laugh you. Like, I'm just excited that Ghanaians are seeing people who are doing good work and then they are calling them out to represent them. Like Ash is saying, enough of someone has served the party. He's just, like, excuse me to say, like, his level of the reasoning is not up there. But because he's with this political party, so let's reward him by allowing him to run as a parliamentary candidate. That is what happens. Like, my constituency is Koforidua, where Befi is.
Right.
Look at the MP that we have. Look at what he's been saying. But we think, oh, he's MPP. Like, we left the other one, I forgot his name, Asibe.
Right.
That everybody is touting that he's very good when it comes to finance and stuff.
Dr. Mark Asibeyeboa.
Yeah, Asibeyeboa. And we went for Befi. Look at what Befi is doing. And Johnny, if you go to Koforidua Zongo, you cry for Koforidua Zongo. Our roads are just nothing to write home about. But he always come around saying we are going to break the 8. That is all that they care about. So, when you hear people calling some of you out, come, at least we have people like you who speak the truth. And I don't care whether it's MPP or NDC. So far as you are telling us what is right, and that is what Ghanaians need. Because Ghanaians, sometimes we are part of the problem. How can someone come and give you 500 cedi to vote your future away?
Your conscience and future away.
Everything. Yeah. Why would you allow that? So sometimes the communication that you're doing is helping some people to, wise up. And so it is a good call that she's saying. That's why I'm happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful. Thank you so much indeed. And we will put out the number in a bit. But, Abiyam, let's listen to the lady again. It's a very touching morning for me.
Good morning, Mr. Johnny.
Hello, madam. How are you?
Mr. Johnny, we are not fine. We are not fine at all. All we are just saying that they should bring us a timetable. It's clear. Like, I'm not even lying. See, I saw I skinky.
Okay.
And I skinky bear bottles 100 because my colleague now in the phone. We end no life.
Right.
So she brought her to my place. And she no mudum life. Now say. And we have children. Baba na yeshen. It is every day. She said, Why? None of my is here. None of my is ill. Because let's go in fashion. That is so, like, let's compare me home. Why? Why? We are killing them, so. Hey.
3FM.
You have to go in place like this in our own country. Why? Are they going to look at their children to be ill? Which means oh, Charlie. It's not easy.
I'm sorry about your situation. I'm sorry. Very sorry. And we will kindly beg the lady to call us back. Lady caller, please call us back 055-924-2717 or 055-691-0154. We can't pick any more calls, but we will be here. I'll be here till about 10:30, 11, 12-ish. So please call back, and then so we can arrange. There are a few good Samaritans who want to support, and the Momo number is 059 887 0449 059 887 0449. Again, 059 887 0449. 059 887 0449. If you attach to support the young lady in distress, and they're actually two, as she mentioned, she and her friend who do their small ice kinky business to support themselves and their children because their husbands are not around, and the Dumso situation is crumbling. And to Adole, thank you very much. Truth, thank you very much. And the gentleman who called, we're grateful. Thank you very much. The Momo number is 059 887 0449. 059 887 0449. It's a 3FM Momo number 059 887 0449. 059 887 0449. Please support them. Keep your being in every way that you can, and let's uplift each other. And it's not funny. We've been through it, so we know how it feels like. But we have to go, Helen, and make way for AJ. She has 3 Lounge, some soothing music coming up.
Yeah.
But before that, Noble Crosby Annan has the news, and Noble's punk is reducing.
I told him that a few days ago. I was wondering why the punk has gone down. He says it's all closely linked to the economy.
The economy is bringing down the punk.
This is the
because
reason
Christian Ali is, Christian Ali about 6 different layers.
Yes.
It's coming down.